All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Wave. Welcome back to the Game 7 recaps. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. This video won't be too long because there were only two Game 6s, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. So, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets. It was a pretty close match throughout the beginning, especially in the first half. Denver was leading by three, and then Oklahoma City led by three into the half. And it was really that third quarter where Denver really solidified a little bit of that run that they were going on, and then just closed the game out with the fourth quarter. If we go ahead and take a look, we had Chet with 19, 11. Shea had 32 on 11 for 16, so not an inefficient night from him. Lou Dort, he hit two threes. You know, he's been hitting some big shots here and there. Caruso with tied for high, coming off the bench with Cason Wallace. And you can see 27.5% from three. You know, free throws weren't falling for them. It's just a recipe for them to lose the match. You know, they got up 92 shots versus Denver's 86, and they shot up about the same from deep. But it was just those runs that mattered when it mattered most. Michael Porter, he definitely came in with some big shots. He hit two big threes. His 10 was a loud 10. Julian Strather off the bench. That guy, he came in ready to play, man. They saw Westbrook wasn't really playing too well, especially in the first half, off the bench, and they threw him in there, and that guy was ready to play, man. He came ready to play all night, and Denver was able to hold off, you know, ending their season and essentially forcing a game 7. And it's actually interesting because they finished their game on the 15th, which would have been a Thursday. And they don't play until the 18th, which is a Sunday. So they actually got an extra day of rest. So Game 7 is going to be electric. I've been calling Game 7 all week, and we're going on record. I think Oklahoma City has what it takes to finish them off. I know Oklahoma City is a little pissed that this is going as long as it's going. And it's showing that they don't have as much experience as they really thought they did. The regular season's one thing. You know, you could play 82 games trying to make the postseason, but when it really matters and then it's crunch time and it's really time to step up, that's when the postseason really matters, and this is their deepest run to date. But yet, I don't think they made the conference finals the year before. I don't think they've ever made the conference finals with this team. Or maybe they did versus Dallas. I'm not sure. I got to remember. Anyway, the point still stands. They're a little green. They're not ripe enough for the postseason, and it could definitely show. A lot of these guys don't have playoff experience, especially most of the starters. They're kind of like new. Hartenstein, yeah, with the Knicks, but not really. Then all these guys were drafted or like were made for this team, so this team is just gonna get their first real test, and we'll see how they respond in Game 7. Is definitely their game to take. Let's go ahead and look at Denver real fast. Like I've been saying, their depth has been a problem all series, and I don't know if it's gonna come back to bite them in Game 7, but. Oklahoma City, they have the team to do it. Denver has the experience. Let's see who really can hold it out. Like I said from the beginning of this game, it was definitely a slugfest, and I felt it was a 6-7 game series off the gate. No team had there was advantages on one side and there was advantages on the other, and it's definitely starting to show. So we're really excited. Game 7 is going to be electric, and yeah, we'll see how Oklahoma City decides to jump back into it after that loss, but. Yeah, this is let's see what they decide to do. Let's see how OKC decides to respond. And the final game on the slate for Game 6s was Boston versus New York. And like we said in Game 5, Boston came out really swinging just because, their best player, Jason Tatum, he had left with a torn Achilles, ruptured Achilles. And, yeah, it was a Game 5 in the Garden. You would hope that the Boston Celtics could respond and play their hearts out. They definitely did. They shot about, sorry about that, they shot about I lost my train of thought. Anyway, definitely Boston is they came in that Game 5 ready to play, and they definitely tested the Knicks, but this Game 6 was the very, very complete opposite story, almost to the point the Knicks almost beat them by 40 points. The Knicks came out, everybody was looking good. I mean, we could look at some of their stats. Everybody on the starting lineup had double digits, and 4 out of 5 of them had a 20 plus. And Josh Hart, he didn't have 20 plus, but he sure damn well had a triple double. And, everybody, look at those plus minuses, plus 25, 6, 5, 30, 20. Like, everybody was really cooking. Nobody on the Knicks had a negative plus minus. Everybody was contributing out there. If we look at Boston, it was just a shit show. Al Horford, he only had 10 points. Jaylen Brown, he had 20, but he fouled out of the game in the third quarter. 7 turnovers. It was just not the prettiest game for him. And everybody on that lineup definitely got some minutes. It was some people were getting some playing time, but it just wasn't enough. 12 for 40 from 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Knicks, they actually had a higher volume of threes this game, which is not really their game plan, but that's just to show you how much of the effort level Boston had lack thereof. So it's just an intense situation. New York moves on to the final round as they go into the Eastern Conference Finals. And they're sitting there waiting for Indiana. So it's going to be great. Indiana closed their series out in 5. Knicks in 6. And we'll get to our predictions for the conference finals in the video coming up very shortly. But that Eastern Conference is wrapped up. And, I was talking a little hot about the Knicks, especially during the beginning of my my run with this playoff run. I was talking like, they can't hang with some of the best teams. And they've definitely proved me wrong. They've beaten Detroit, which was a team that I think the whole NBA community kind of felt like they were supposed to beat. They did, rightfully so. A little slower than we had maybe liked, but some things are with due time, and some things are just meant to be the way they are. They came in and Boston had their kryptonite because they literally didn't beat Boston in the regular season. Now, it's just kind of funny. Like, now that they are in the postseason, they have Boston's number, and you could go through the footage after they scored, or after they went up 2-0 on them. The momentum was all in New York's favor, and it was like Boston would have to be like fighting for history or through history to make the craziest feats to win these games. So, shout out to New York, definitely taking that division by storm. And we'll see what the Boston Celtics are gonna have to do. There's a whole lore behind what's going on there. There's a whole situation there with cap and players under contract and who we keep in and what's the lineup. So is Boston's reign of tyranny over in the Eastern Conference? We'll see. But like I said, just happy to see the Knicks moving on to the next round. And I want to thank you guys so much for really joining me on the wave. I know this episode was a lot shorter than the videos that we normally have, and they will continue to get shorter as the postseason goes. I'll be sure to start throwing in some more clips, more footage that I think is appropriate, or things that we could look at together and just kind of, have that conversation. Feel free to drop a like. I know the postseason conversations are coming up. The postseason, the next round of the playoffs is coming up. I want to hear some takes. I want to hear who you guys got winning the finals. I want to see all that. So, again, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe. And, again, I'll see you guys on the next one, man. We'll just continue to keep pushing content. Be on the lookout for more content in June. I know the NBA season slowly wraps up with June, but we're going to come with full force, and we're going to get ready for that 25-26 season together. So I'll see you guys there. Peace out, child. See you guys on the next one, all right?